I cannot hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. This is Brian Darling.
They're trying to fix the audio, so it may take a couple of minutes.
We can hear you.
Yes. Could someone talk just a little bit just to make sure that we have good audio coming in through GoToWebinar?
Test 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test.
Okay, thank you so much. And just to make sure that was coming from the conference room, correct?
No, I am online.
Okay, I need someone from the conference room, please, to try to talk to us. Okay, still not hearing anything. No, we're still not hearing you yet. Yeah, we heard just a little bit of crackling. It sounded like we were getting some sound through and then nothing else. That's why I wanted to make sure we could actually hear your voices.
I turned on my mic. I can't hear you though.
Okay, okay, Travis, we are working on some technical difficulties right now. We have not been able to hear those people who are in the conference room, so we're just working on that right now. You got me all excited there for a second because I thought we could hear the conference room. So we're working on it though. All right. So if you'd like, I can try to log out as ADQ meetings and log Michelle in and see if it helps any.
I turned on my mic again as requested.
All right, Alicia, I'm gonna hop out as ADQ meetings and they're gonna log Michelle in and see if that helps. So, good luck.
Okay. We still can't hear you.
Testing.
We're good.
Yes, we can hear you. And it shows AZEQ meetings.
I don't know what you did, but yeah.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your patience and sticking on the call, and those in the room bearing with us as we work through the technical issues for getting the volume working. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and do roll call. I'll start with Dima, Gabe Levine, Kathy Hassett, or Chris Pittman.
Kathy's here.
Chris is here.
Which one will be the voting member?
We can let Kathy be the voter. But
Well,
Gabe
Chris,
should be.
actually, I was gonna ask if you wanted to do it because I have to get off a little bit early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can bail out. I got you. Gabe Levine should be here shortly, though. So as soon as he pops in, then I'll surrender to him.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Chris and Kathy. For DOHS, Cheryl Bowman or Mike Stidham?
Cheryl's here.
No, Cheryl Kennedy, I apologize. Good afternoon, Cheryl. And myself, I'm President Tom Neve, DPS. For ADOT, David Gliskus or Sonia Herrera? I guess that's Sonia. I just get a verbal, Sonia. We didn't quite hear you. Can't hear her. Yeah, we're not getting audio for you, Sonia. We'll come back to you, or if you get the volume working, let us know, Sonia. Dwayne Ulick with Department of Ag. Okay. And then for Arizona Corporation Commission, Joe Pinkerman.
Present.
And then Arizona Corporation Commission, Eric Villa. Industrial Commission of Arizona, Bryce Rucker. Fire Forestry and Fire Management, Cassie Peters.
Present.
Afternoon, sir. Righty. State Mine Inspector, Paul Marsh. Arizona Fire Chiefs Association, James Johnson.
Actually, it's Brian Darling here, sir.
Brian Darling. Oh, I see you there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And then Department of Health Services, Teresa Enert.
Hi, Tom, I'm here.
Good afternoon, Teresa.
Hi.
I count 7 present, so quorum is met. From that, I'll go ahead and we'll talk about, at this time, it's 1:37 p.m. I'll call this meeting to order. And before we get started, talk about virtual housekeeping. Please, commissioners that are online, please mute your microphones when you're not speaking. Please do not put the call on hold. If you called in, music that may be on the hold side of things will disrupt the meeting. Please state your name when you are offering a motion, seconding a motion, or opposing a motion. For virtual voting members, I will ask for a roll call vote for each motion. All others online, we are hosting a webinar and are automatically muted by our meeting administrator. If you are having something to ask for a commissioner, please email your comments or questions to azserc@azdeq.gov. We will address any questions, comments under item 16 when we do call the public. Thank you. For in-person, those that are in the room, housekeeping, restrooms are going to be located just past the elevators to the left. It's a little bit of a walk. Fire escape routes are posted. Please do not use the elevators during a fire. Use the stairs. They're located to the right past the elevators. If you're provided a badge, please turn in that badge to the front office before you leave. Thank you. All right. The next item on the agenda, number 4, is going to be the approval of the minutes. Before we entertain a motion for approving those, there has been some amended changes that I'm going to go over real quick. Has any of the commissioners online or in the room not had a chance to review the minutes as they stand before I go over the changes that have already been proposed? Okay, hearing none, I'm specifically looking at the June 19th minutes, and here's some changes that have been brought to my attention. The spelling of my last name has been corrected to Neve, N-E-V-E, and that's on page 2. On page 4, the grammar says 5 positions. It's supposed to be fire positions. So that's been changed to the correct grammar. And then further down on page 4, under Gabe Levine, I'll reference, it's under Paul Marks where he was talking about fire positions. And then under Gabe Levine, he talked about at the very end of that, Dr. Bailey and my last name being Captain Neve. Ready. And then the other change, same date, we're on page 6 at the very top. We were switching over the mic, which is MIC. So that's again a spelling correction. And that's it for the June 19th minutes from 2024. Going to April 30, 2025, amended changes include the correct spelling for my name on page 2 under calling the meeting to order. And then again on page 3, the discussion was held at the very bottom under the executive session review. It should be Mr. Levine, it being the correct verbiage it was utilized during that. So correction, we're striking, I can't read what was written there, but something that said chairman, and it was corrected to be Mr. And further up in the middle of that page, I just noticed it does say under 8C, it talks about the commission meeting frequency, and that motion actually died being added to the end of that verbiage following where it says Gabe Levine. On page 4, again, still April 30, 2025, under 13, it'll be the second paragraph, action item review. It's action item 2, and it talked about me as a chairman and then vice chairman Enert. That's okay, no changes. I just spread that, no changes to that page. I apologize for directing you to that page. Okay. All right. And then the April 30th, 2025 minutes. At the very bottom of that, where it says chairman, have my name Tom Neve, it should be interim chairman. So adding the word interim ahead of that first paragraph at the bottom. And then on page 2, same change, the third paragraph from the bottom, adding the word interim in front of chairman. And that's going to happen on page 3 4 more times, basically adding the word interim ahead of chairman in the 3rd paragraph, 5th paragraph, 7th paragraph, and 8th paragraph. I'm sorry, 9th. On page 4, it's going to be 3 the same, adding interim to where Chairman Neve is indicated, 1st paragraph. I'm going to say about halfway down, and then at the very last one before the adjournment. And then these are the 3 Minutes that are in writing, there's also another if you look at the agenda on 4/16/24, there's actually a meeting recording, as all the members had the opportunity to review the recording, and then the minutes as again as indicated with the edits or the changes that have been recommended. If you need me to go through over any of those again, I'm open to doing so. I know I went through them very quick. All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the meeting recording from April 16th, 2024, and then the minutes as amended for June 19th, 2024, April 30th, 2025, and April 30th, 2025 from the executive session?
This is Chris Pittman. I can,
All right, I have a motion from Chris Pittman with Demo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Cassie Peters with DFFM. All in favor of accepting the recording and minutes with the proposed changes signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
right?
Those opposed signify by saying nay. All right, minutes have been accepted. All right, I'm going to move on to agenda item number 5, Arizona Water Infrastructure Act discussion. And is that being presented by Archangel? Oh, by Michelle.
Good afternoon. The America's Water Infrastructure Act, we are required to, as the AZSERC, you're required to provide this information to all state agencies. But since ADEQ is the primary agency that handles this, that we are using our internal process to do notifications. So the agreement was that we would keep track of these notifications and present them to the AZSERC at their meetings. These are the notifications that came to us from March 27th, 2025 until September 6th, I believe, no, September 8th, 2025. This is for notification only.
Any questions for Michelle? All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, highly hazardous flammable terrain discussion. Is that also Michelle? All right, go ahead, Michelle.
The railroad departments are required to submit any changes to the railroads that, or to the cars that come in. If they change by 2% to 5%, they're required to let us know. They give us these reports, which are confidential. I sent them out to the counties that were affected, and I sent them out to all LEPC chair personnel, as well as all fire chiefs. These are the dates that I received them and the dates that the reports were sent out. All commissioners also receive a copy of these reports. If you did not receive a copy, please let me know and I'll send it out to you.
Sorry, I didn't have it, the record. I guess the mic wasn't on for me, so I'll say it again. Any questions for Michelle regarding the highly hazardous flammable terrain report or the dissemination to LAPCs and the commission? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. It's going to be the Emergency Response Fund. Archangel, DQ.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to do a quick update. So we did receive requests from majority of the counties in the state for the emergency response fund. I think we ended at the requesting period at about $230,000 worth of requests. Obviously, the fund is limited to $132,000. So we're in the sorting process right now for the requesting fire departments of what they requested, what's going to get accepted and move forward. But everything's on track. We should be expending 100% of the fund this year again.
All right, any questions for Archangel regarding the hazardous materials emergency preparedness update as far as the fund goes?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I did number 8. Michelle's doing number 7. I got those backwards. My apologies.
So for the Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant, it's a 3-year grant. We had a performance period that will end September 30th of 2025. We applied and received an extension for several projects totaling $92,614. These projects must be completed on or before September 30th, 2026. We were awarded $404,482 for year 3, and as of today, we have spent or reallocated all but $1,164.51. The 3-year grant award was for $1,263,383.40. This grant has provided hazmat training, hazmat planning, and hazmat training equipment for first responders and emergency managers across the state. This grant program has been extremely successful and helpful to many agencies. We applied for another HMEP grant for performance period beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th of 2026, totaling $696,456. We are waiting for the award notification from the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. If granted, we will send out award letters to 16 subrecipients, and we hope to get notification before the end of this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Archangel. Any questions regarding the 2 reports, the one that Michelle just briefed out for the hazardous materials emergency preparedness update, and then the emergency response fund that Archangel briefed out? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 9. And this one is going to be covering the basically an update of the local emergency planning committees as far as the emergency response plan submissions and the exercising of their plans. Okay. So I just want to go over this real quick. I know we've received already several of the LEPC emergency response plans. I believe we have a view of that we'll show you here in just a second to show which LEPCs have submitted their ERPs or emergency response plans. I'm also aware that at least 2 the commission members not only should have received those plans, just confirming, Archangel, that those plans that have been received by DEQ have been forwarded on to the commission. Have not been sent out to the commission yet. So, all right. So part of the discussion is how that should look in terms of how the commission will not only receive those plans from DEQ, but also discussion on how the commission will review those plans and make recommendations, and then submitting those back to the LEPCs for making the modification as approved by the commission. So I don't know what you want to show first, Michelle. Okay.
They changed all my stuff here. Sorry.
All right. So one of the things I put together was kind of a proposal or an outline of for the commission's consideration of how we could receive the LEPC, the local emergency planning committee's emergency response plans, and how we would go about reviewing those and then working with the LEPCs when recommendations are made to give them not only in a timely manner back to them, but in a timely manner for returning back to the commission for final acceptance. All right, we've got it up. She's just working on the share mode to be able to share it with the commission members that are online to see what's here, and I'll go over it. Or I'll give the commission time to go over it and review it and see if there's any further discussion before we entertain a motion on how to go about the process for accepting or approving, I should say accepting, reviewing, and approving the LEPC emergency response plans.
Can you see it?
They get confirmation for those online that they can see the screen as far as the guidelines or the suggested guidelines for submission?
Yes, we can.
All right, excellent. So I'll just give it a real quick overview. Basically, the commission can receive plans for the coming year as far as the emergency response plan by each respective LEPC between August 1st and December 31st. Further refine that, it would be an open period from August 1st to September 30th. That allows commission members opportunity to review and make recommendations part of the next meeting. It also gives us some time to get any recommendations back to the LEPCs prior to the end of the year, so they have time to make those modifications as suggested if there are any, and then be able to hopefully ratify that plan as close to the end of the prior year as possible, if not soon into the coming year, depending on when the commission would next meet for those that where there's recommendations being made. So yeah, go ahead and scroll down. Go up just a little bit right there. Basically, the DEQ would forward the plans to the commissioners for review. It says within 60 days of receipt, but I would imagine it would be pretty immediate, so that we have the 60 days as a commission to review that prior to the next meeting, if that much time is needed. And then a process by which we can propose those recommendations, if any, for each respective ERP. And then that way, again, we could vote on it at the next meeting and provide, again, a vehicle, if you will, for the commission to send that back with those recommendations as approved by the commission for modification by LEPC within 60 days of it being sent back to them by DEQ. So one of the steps, obviously, I know we have some plans that have been received already. The commissioners have not been sent those, so we couldn't really vote on it today as far as which ones have been received, because that hasn't happened by the commission. But ideally, in the meeting, we'd be able to, again, this is just a proposal that we could vote to accept or acknowledge receipt of the actual ERP, and then pending that 60 days or the next commission meeting, we would then vote whether or not to accept it with or without recommendations, if there was recommendations based on the commission's agreement as to which recommendations would be made and would go forward and be sent back to the LEPC. So with that, I can open it up to, let me entertain a motion to, by any of the commission members that want to see basically the process as outlined in this Word doc, be approved by the commission or edited as they see fit if they're in somewhat agreement with what most of it reads. Do I have a motion in the room or on the call? We still have the meeting. Do we still have people online? I'm not hearing anybody online, and definitely not hearing anything in the room.
Hey, Tom, this is Teresa. I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Teresa. Is there discussion? Or I'm sorry, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cassie Peters with DFFM. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to discussion. Is there any other input or considerations by the commission on the motion on the floor?
Tom, this is Cheryl Kennedy. Can we scroll back to that point that you brought up about when the commissioners receive copies of the submitted plans? It was 60 days, maybe. I might suggest that it be sooner or less than 60 days after receipt.
Is it further up? Or is it right there? You're talking about?
Right there. Submissions will be forwarded to all commissioners for review within 60 days of receipt. That seems lengthy.
And yeah, and like I say, it should be immediately upon receipt by DEQ. They should be submitted to the commission, so they would have 60 days to review is how that should read. Is that what you're asking for, or is you asking for something different, or discussing something different within that line?
I think I was just wanting to see that those get sent out to the commissioners in less than 60 days so that they have more time. Well, I shouldn't say more time, but it just seems like that if they're received by DEQ, why would they wait that long, potentially?
Copy that. So I hear what you're saying. Is it okay to have a motion to amend that? So
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, I'll entertain a motion to amend that particular line, because I believe the motion on the floor is to accept this as is, but the motion, and I know it was discussed the way you're talking about, Cheryl, as far as that it would be immediate. But again, for clarification, is there a motion to amend this motion, the two motion? Do I need to vote on the first motion or no? A motion to amend the motion on the floor?
If you haven't voted or accepted this as the procedure, yeah, I don't think you need to have two separate votes. I think just a vote to accept this as amended and then describe the amendment.
Okay. So do I have a motion to amend it to say that DEQ will forward the emergency response plan upon receipt to all commissioners, who then have the ability to review within 60 days?
I make a motion to amend.
I got a motion to amend. Do I have a second?
Oh, Kennedy will second.
Okay. I said motion by Cassie Peters and a second by, was it Cheryl Kennedy? All right. So a vote on the motion would it be with the motion to, do I need two different votes?
I don't think you need to do two different votes. I think just you can vote to accept this as amended and then describe the amendment.
Okay. So, all right.
Mr. Chairman, I would also be a little wary of sharing your discussion or recommendations on this as it's laid out in there, and sharing those amongst yourselves outside of the meeting.
You repeat that one more time.
Yeah, sorry. And underneath this bullet point here, you say recommendation for modifications will be shared for all commissioners to see. I don't know if you're expecting that the commissioners will share this amongst themselves. I would be careful of that, but if you're talking about any DEQ recommendations or anything like that, that's different. Just not sure what.
I think the intention of that was that it would be in like a document where they could put their comments that other commissioners could see, or would that not be appropriate?
Question. Can they send their recommendations to the AZERC email directly to us, and then we compile them, and then we will share those recommendations, BCC'd, like I've been doing, prior to the meeting? they just can't make any decisions on it, but they know what's being shared or what's being recommended.
Yes, I think that would be fine.
So any modifications that they're recommending can be sent to the AZERC email. We will compile those recommendations, and then we will share them under BCC as we have been doing with everybody.
So it would still be shared, but it would be coming from DEQ
Correct,
or the AZSERC email.
correct.
That would be,
Yeah, and then it would just be part of an agenda item in the agenda packet.
all right. So the motion on the floor is obviously accept this as it's written with the proposed amendment to direct DEQ to send the ERPs out once they're received by DEQ to all the commissioners, and that the recommendations for modification upon review from any of the commission members will be sent to the AZSERC email at DEQ, who will then forward out the culmination of those recommendations prior to the next scheduled meeting for discussion and review and acceptance, or lack of acceptance based on those recommendations. With the motion on the floor, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And those opposed signify by saying nay. All right, hearing none, motion carries. I think while we're still on the discussion, I know we discussed the submission of the ERP. What we didn't talk about as much is the exercise of the ERPs. So I had a couple, just for, I think, the situational awareness of what we have as far as plans received. Archangel, are you able to enumerate which LEPCs have submitted plans to DEQ thus far that will be getting sent out to the commissioners?
Yeah, the ones that are on the screen are the ones that we have received this year for review from the commission. So we haven't received all of them. We've received about a little bit over half. So once at the end of this meeting today, we'll send it out to all the commissioners for their review, and then at the next meeting with the provided recommendations, you guys will discuss it and let them know the standing of their ERP, but we can provide all of those to you guys.
And then as I look at this, it looks like we've got 8 of the 14 LEPCs that have submitted this year. And then I know you answered the other question as far as that they haven't been sent out to the commissioners yet. And then as far as the exercise of the plans, do we have, oh, you do have it. All right, excellent. Okay, do you want to talk about the exercise schedule that's shown here, Archangel?
Yeah, so 42 ARS 49-125C, the commission is to be notified when a LEPC is scheduling either a tabletop exercise or an actual exercise event scenario based off of their emergency response plan. We have documented to the best of our abilities the information that we received from these LEPCs. When was their last known biennial exercise? And then if they have one that they're due for, we threw it on the calendar on the right-hand side to where it says exercise due date. So if they haven't done one in a while, we're noting what time frame or what year they would have to complete it in. Basically, they have to review their plan every year, and they have to exercise it, whether it's a tabletop or a full-scale exercise, every 2 years.
Okay. And then I just wanted to also draw attention kind of back to the statute that governs the ERPs, also governs the exercise requirements, and that's ARS 49-125 regarding comprehensive emergency response plans. Part of that, and I think you alluded to that, is the LEPCs have to notify the commission within 30 days of when they're doing an exercise. And then basically the commission would then be aware that those exercises are actually happening and they're required to happen biennial or once every 2 years.
Yes, correct. As soon as we receive notification of a scheduled either tabletop or full-scale exercise, we notify the commissioners immediately and provide the information that is provided to us by the LEP.
Any other discussion or questions related to the ERPs, emergency response plans as submitted by the local emergency response committees, or the biennial requirement for exercising those plans?
Chairman, this is Cheryl Kennedy again. Just wondering, and I apologize if I missed it. I was temporarily distracted there for a moment on something else. But anyway, the two that are due, looks like La Paz and Mojave County. Do we have any information that is saying, okay, we know they're due, but we've been challenged to get it scheduled, or have they been reminded that the due date is approaching? I mean, I guess I'm just curious a little bit what, if any communication has transpired between those two counties regarding their exercise.
Ms. Kennedy, this is Michelle Martinez. La Paz County just had their elections and they are reorganizing. They have new staff right now and they are planning their exercise to get completed before the end of the year. And Mike Browning and his staff are also working on a training exercise probably before the end of the year as well. They have been in contact with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Is there a need for further discussion about when DEQ gets notified and the timeliness of the commission being notified of exercises being scheduled by the LEPCs? Okay, hearing none, I will move on to the next agenda item, which is going to be agenda item 10, old business.
We're missing a couple, Chair. 9C and 9D.
I apologize. All right, LEPC membership application ratification. Looks like Archangel may have some applications to cover.
Yeah, so you guys should have received the list of the applications that have come to us from the previous, or since the previous commission meeting. All of these applications are received by Michelle. They come over to me for interim approval as per the commission's guidelines. I basically just confirm, what group they're a part of. If there's any mistakes or any issues, if they're in the corresponding group based off of what organization they belong to. And then once I confirm that the information is correct, I do an interim signature on those applications. We notify the LEPC that once the interim application is approved by me, then that person at their next meeting can be voted in and be an active member. And then this list is provided to the commission for ratification for all of these members. And these are just members that, like as I stated from the previous commission meeting, these are applications that we've received since then.
Any questions for Archangel on the voting membership applications? All right, do I have a motion we need to accept these new members, right? Do I have a motion to ratify the new membership from the LEPCs?
This is Chris Pittman, so moved.
Thank you, Chris. I have a first. Do I have a second?
Cassie Peters, second.
Second by Cassie Peters, the FFM. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed signify by saying nay. All right. Passed. Moving on to, is it 9D? All right, it looks like the LEPC meeting status presented by Archangel, DEQ.
Yeah, so we just keep track of the LEPCs when they conduct their meetings. The revised statute states that they have to have a meeting at least once a year, but the bylaws by each individual LEPC may dictate differently. We don't, or ADEQ doesn't enforce their bylaws. That's for the LEPC. So these we're just noting in the third column over, just if they have them semi-annual, that's usually 1 or 2 times a year. Some of them have quarterly, some of them have in their bylaws as annual, and then we just document who's been compliant with their bylaws, and then if they're meeting the at least the minimum annual required meeting by the revised statute.
Any questions from Archangel on the LEPC meetings? On the Coconino one, I see you have 2 unknowns for compliance with bylaws and then the compliance with the ARS annual meeting.
This is Michelle. I did send an email out and I did not get a response. I believe they're going to schedule an LEPC meeting sometime before their October 8th TTX, but that's all the information I've received. Most, if not all, of the LEPCs do let us know when they're hosting their regular scheduled meetings. I haven't heard from them regarding their regular meetings, so this is what I have available. But I did send an email out to let them, to get me that information.
And then as far as Navajo County, looks like they've had 1 of 4 on their that's how many meetings they've had for the year, 1 out of 4.
Yes, Mr. Chair. However, they have also been struggling with personnel, and they're doing the best they can, but they are in contact with us to let us know that they are trying.
Any questions for Archangel or Michelle DEQ regarding LEPC meetings? All right. Moving on to agenda item number 10, old business. Looks like it's a discussion about the AZSERC bylaws and the commission structure.
So if I may, Mr. Chair, these are the bylaws that were submitted by Commissioner Levine previously. We sent them to the Attorney General's office for confirmation, and this is the draft copy that we got back from them after reviewing, all the articles and everything of the bylaw to make sure that everything was in order and that there was nothing out of the ordinary for outside of being, requirements of the ARS. So this is what we're bringing to the commission for your guys' review, discussion, and approval.
So it's a discussion approval of the bylaws as presented by Director Levine.
Yes, these were just modified by the Attorney General's office to be in compliance with the revised statute.
I'm not sure if I'm understanding. Is it to accept the bylaws themselves, or is it to accept or how the motions are carried in order to accept motions by the commission?
So from my understanding, these were just bylaws that were presented for review. We took it to the Attorney General's office for their revision of it. ADEQ has not modified anything on this. This is for, I'm assuming, for discussion for the commission, whether they're in agreement and how they read now after being reviewed by the Attorney General's office, or if there's any proposed changes that the commissioners want to make to what's in the bylaws.
So the last commission meeting, we had been sent the bylaws proposed for the commission by Director Levine. Is there any discussion on those bylaws since the last meeting by the commissioners? Okay, not hearing any discussion. I will move on to Item number 11, new business. Teresa Enert is the vice chair she's with DHS. Oh, did I miss something? We do need to vote to approve it on item.
Y'all haven't accepted these bylaws.
All right. I guess I'll move back to number 10. You have them to where we can display them. All right, we're gonna work to display the bylaws from item number 9 so they can be looked at by the commission. It sounds like we do need to consider taking this to a vote because the bylaws have not been approved yet.
Mr. Chair, this is Cheryl Kennedy. While you are reviewing those, I do have to leave the meeting, but Michael Stidham is in the meeting, I believe, still, so he is the designee in my absence. So he will become a voting member.
Appreciate that, Cheryl. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, question. This is Chris.
Yes, Chris.
Under Article 9, Amendment of Bylaws, which I don't believe we're changing on this go around, says that we can only change them if the changes were proposed at the previous meeting. And I'm not sure that these were proposed at the previous meeting, so we might not be able to accept them until technically the next meeting.
So I appreciate that. The concern right now is we don't have bylaws, so technically they're not applicable until we approve them. So Section 9 is basically the outline. It's part of the outline for the bylaws that we would be amending for future consideration and not necessarily consideration for voting on it at this time.
Well, then that would totally make sense. I didn't know we were operating without bylaws, so thank you.
If for those that may be joining new today that haven't been on before, having a chair and a co-chair is a relatively new thing for the commission, and adopting the bylaws has been a goal or an aspiration of the commission, or at least some of us on the commission. I would say probably all of us, but I don't want to speak for everybody because that's not my job necessarily. But obviously we don't have them, and having them would help guide us in future meetings as we go forward. So there's definitely, in my opinion, there's a need, but we can talk more on that here in a second. Sorry, has everybody had a chance to review the bylaws? I know we've got them up. I assume that those that are online can see them and can go through them. Yes, Michelle?
Can you verify that Mr. Stidham has access as a panelist? So you can vote? If not, I can give it to you.
Oh, let me just check. Mr. Stidham, do you have access as a panelist as part of the webinar invite? If we don't hear from you, we'll work on sending you an invite so that you would have that access. We do have you in the roll call list. We just not sure that you have the actual access to get into the meeting with us to actually speak. Okay, Michelle's advising we're going to send it to Alicia, who will then send you the official invite so that you will be able to vote as a voting member, as a proxy for Cheryl Kennedy.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Chris.
I'd like to draw your attention that Director Gabe Levine has entered as our voting representative. So I will defer to him for all further matters.
All right, thank you, Chris. And can I just confirm with you, Gabe Levine, that you have access to the webinar? Are you able to verbally?
Yes, sir. My apologies. Yep. I was stuck in the public session purgatory there.
No worries. We got you. You're good. And just to bring you up to speed, we're going over the bylaws. It's old business from the last meeting. I think the motion failed with the idea that we would come back and revisit it at this meeting, if I remember correctly. And so that's what we're doing now, is we're revisiting the bylaws. And we'll entertain a motion here in a moment after everybody's had a chance to go through the bylaws. Okay, and all the commission members were emailed these, so you should have them in your email as well. Is anybody need more time to review these, or do they want to see a certain section or part of this, or do we need to scroll through it again so that commission members have had ample time to evaluate the bylaws as they're written? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to ratify these bylaws as bylaws for the commission.
I'd like to move that we ratify the bylaws as presented here.
All right, got a first by Director Levine. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Brian Darling.
Brian Darling. Second. All right. Thank you. Discussion on the motion. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none. I'm going to take a vote here in a second, but when I do, for those that are online, I am going to need an actual name and agency as to what you're voting, so I can properly get it entered for the roll call for the acceptance of the bylaws. Those in favor of the bylaws, I'll start with the room first, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And for those that are joining virtually, those in favor signify by saying aye and stating your name and agency.
Aye. Gabe Levine, DEMA.
Aye,
Teresa
Brian Darling,
Sorry.
Arizona Fire Chief.
I got two items. Just for clarification, one was from Teresa Enert, Department of Health, and
Correct.
the other one was from, is it Brian Darling?
Yes, sir, for Arizona Fire Chiefs.
Perfect.
Aye for Arizona Homeland Security. Mike Stidham.
All right. Those in the room opposed signify by saying nay. And those on joining virtual opposed signify by saying nay. State your name and agency. All right, hearing no opposition, the motion passes. So congratulations, we now have bylaws. Well done. All right, I'm going to move on to the next agenda item after old business, which is
If I may, Mr. Chair, we got an email that came in from Coconino County regarding the biennial exercise. So we did have the information incorrect. They did have a biennial exercise in 2023, and their next scheduled one is for next week, actually. So I wanted to address that. We didn't catch that because this sheet was updated in preparation for the previous meeting. But they did notify us that they had a biennial exercise in 2023, and they're scheduled for their next tabletop next week.
Coconino's current on the exercise.
Yes.
Okay. And I did see, I know you sent to me, I'm assuming probably to the co-chair Teresa Enert as well regarding the exercise. I think you said that hasn't gone out to the commission members yet as far as the exercise for Coconino. And I think Pima County had one too, if I remember correct, that's coming up.
Usually when we get the notifications, we'll send it out to all the commissioners immediately. I believe that one just came into us the other day, correct, Michelle? I might have been out of office during that time, but usually we send out the notifications immediately once we get them.
Okay. And that was a go back to the exercises. Is there any other questions for Archangel regarding the LEPCs and the biennial exercises? Okay. All right, I will move on to item number 11 for new business. I just found out last week, Teresa Enert notified me as well as DEQ that she is going to vacate her position as the co-chair. Reason being is she is retiring. So congratulations, Teresa, on your retirement. Well done.
Thanks.
I'm going to give you a minute on the floor if you got anything you want to say to the commission, because I know my understanding is you've been here since at least 2019 or maybe longer. So you've been a long time member of this commission, and you probably have seen a lot and done a lot. I know in my time with you going back to 2013, you've been there on the emergency management side of things. And I'll just give you a minute to kind of let us know where you're going, and we're going to miss you.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah, I think for years and years, I've been part of this and the SEC and several others. It's just been a great pleasure and an honor to work with such dedicated individuals that serve Arizona and the public. My combined time is 47 years, 20 with the ADHS and then 27 in the military. So it's time for me to take a break and go have a little fun with family and friends. So I'll spend some time in North Dakota and explore the golf courses in the fall and winter here that I haven't seen for a while. So it's been a pleasure, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Teresa. Again, thank you for all that you've done with DHS. Like I say, you've been kind of the rock in a lot of the emergency management meetings that I've been in since 2013 when I first kind of got in that business. And again, you're going to be dearly missed. So sorry to see you go, and thank you. And congrats.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so with that chair being vacated, I will entertain motions for a new co-chair. Will that be effective today, Teresa? Is today your last day with us?
It's my last day with the department is the 26th.
Okay. So entertain a motion for a new co-chair.
I move to nominate Michael Stidham as the co-chair. That was Gabe from DEMA.
All right, I don't need seconds for these, right? Oh, I do. Do I have a second for Mike Stidham for co-chair?
Brian Darling, Arizona Fire Chiefs.
All right. Do I have any other motions? So I got two for Mike Stidham. Do I have any other motions for a co-chair? Discussion on the motion. All right, hearing no other nominations, we'll go ahead and close the nominations. Those in favor of nominating Mike Stidham for co-chair of the commission, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. All right, welcome, Mike. Was he ever able to get?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Thank you.
Oh, all right, welcome. Glad. All right, good. He might have been contesting it the whole time. Maybe he had something to say. I don't know. Well,
I was back
welcome
here
aboard.
screaming, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, glad you're here, and you had an opportunity to not only hear it but say something if you needed to say something. So again, welcome. All right. Moving on to, is there a need for us to go into executive session? I'll entertain a motion for going into executive session if there's a need. All right, hearing none, I will skip past not only 12 but 13 and 14 because we still have quorum. So item 15 is basically going over action item reviews, discussion. I believe the action items that we've established from the prior agenda items is going to be that the requirement for DEQ to send out the LEPC emergency response plans to commission members, as well as notifications for the exercises if those haven't already occurred. Other action items include the requirement for the commission members to review those plans within 60 days of receipt and send those emergency response plans with any recommendations, if they have them, to the AZSERC at AZDEQ.gov. Is that correct? So that way they can be part of the next meeting's agenda, and we can then vote on the acceptance of those or acceptance with the as recommended and agreed upon by the commission. With that, any other action items that I missed that were discussed that I didn't capture right there? Any discussion on the agenda items? All right, I'll now move on to item number 16, call to the public. Do we have any comments or emails from the public that we need to cover? Okay, and the email is being shared for the commissioners. If they have, again, recommendations for those ERPs, you should be getting 6 of them very soon regarding the submissions that DEQ has so far. Please review those. I know it gives us 60 days, but some of those have been received a little while back. So my ask is that the commission members be diligent about reviewing those and try and get those comments in well ahead of when that next meeting is, so that we can make sure we have it for all of them if we do have comments or recommendations that need to be submitted. And we don't have any comments from the public? Nope. And we don't have any comments from the public, so we'll move on to future agenda items. Do the commission members have any other items that they wish to bring forward for the next meeting's agenda? And this is asking for a proposed date and time for the next meeting. I propose that since we do have emergency response plans on the table that are already starting to get some time to them, that we try to do that within the next 60 to 90 days. Is there anything, I know when we get past Thanksgiving, we're getting into holiday season, a lot of people tend to be out. So I don't know if the direction or intention or preference for the board is to do it before Thanksgiving or after, but it kind of puts us in that next meeting timeframe of sometime mid-November to late December to get it to where we can review those plans and potentially vote to accept the ones that can be accepted or make recommendations for the ones that need recommendations.
Hey, Tom, this is Gabe. I would be in favor of having a meeting in the afternoon on either the 12th or the 13th of November so we can knock it out before the holidays. Otherwise, I think we'll end up meeting well into the new year.
Can, commission members, can you check your calendars and see if 12th or 13th will work for most, hopefully everybody? Does the afternoon of either day work for everybody? What, if you got your calendar in front of you, Gabe, can you tell me if, what days of the week those are?
Yeah, the 12th is a Wednesday, the 13th is a Thursday.
Does the afternoon on both of those days typically work for everybody?
Afternoon of the 13th works for me. This is Brian Darling. The 12th might be challenging for myself.
This is Michael Sidham. The 12th and 13th both work for me.
Thank you.
This is Cassie Peters. The 12th works for me, the 13th does not.
All right. Anyone else that's restricted by one of those two afternoons? All right. Do we need to decide now? I know we have another thing. All right. We'll work with DQ. We'll work with everybody and try to get a survey to firm up the afternoon, which are when we can for sure make quorum. And then the other question at hand is whether or not we want to do the same type of a hybrid meeting or we want to do an all-in-person meeting. If you were on the last attempted meeting, you know some of the technical issues that we encountered and the reason why we have to be careful doing virtual. Certainly it took us a little bit to get that going this time, but I anticipate we'll be better as we get to going along. So I for one am willing to entertain the hybrid, but I just want to see what the consensus of the group is, if you're still good with hybrid or if you'd rather have it all in person. I get a nod for hybrid already. Any other preferences? Is hybrid work for everybody? All right, we'll do the hybrid. Again, thank you for your patience at the beginning. I know that was a long wait, but I would hope y'all find it worth the wait. And hopefully, even though we did eat a little bit of time at the beginning, I'm pretty happy that we're getting done at a somewhat decent time today. And my goal as your chairman is to ensure that we try to make these as timely as possible and efficient as possible, so we're not eating up too much time. So. Any go backs or anything else before we move on to item number 19?
Mr. Chair, I would just, this is Cassie Peters. I would like to recommend just a moment of silence today before we close out to commemorate 9/11.
All right, I believe we can do that. So if you didn't hear on the phone, I'll just repeat what Cassie Peters at DFFM said. He's asking for a moment of silence in remembrance of 9/11, the 343 firefighters that passed away that day, along with, I want to say it was somewhere around 4,000 plus Americans that died with the terror attacks on that day 24 years ago. With that, we'll give a moment of silence. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Any other go backs or anything else for the commission or go to the order before we entertain a motion to adjourn? All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So I'll make the motion. This is Teresa.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good remainder of the week. My changes for. Oh yeah, that's right. You did say you need them back. Yeah.